What's up, guys? It's Named Coyote here, back with another original concept. You probably didn't know it, but Pikmin 4 got a beautiful 3-minute trailer yesterday, and today we're running through it, finding every single detail that ever existed, because I know everything. I wouldn't be making this video, but I've watched like 5 others, and they miss stuff. Why are human beings making mistakes? That's not supposed to happen. But anyway, let's just hit the road. First things first, we're in space, and it looks about the same as it always does. You can see the hyperdrive is similar to that of the endings of Pikmin 2 and 3, so that makes sense. We can see some asteroids, and a lot of people have pointed out that this is the first Pikmin game without a crash landing, but the trailer is never a good indicator because Pikmin 3 didn't show the crash in that reveal trailer, and they didn't even show the crash from Pikmin 2 in the Pikmin 2 re-release trailer, even though everybody knew about it. Moving towards the ship, I think it's easy to mistake this for the SS Dolphin at first, which we sadly have not seen since the opening of Pikmin 2, but as the trailer continues, we see it's only half of a ship. It's similar to the Spearows in Pikmin 3, the ship from Hey Pikmin, or the obnoxious research pod from Pikmin 2, although it doesn't have a speaker or a megaphone attached, so hopefully it doesn't talk. Another thing, proportion has never been Pikmin's strong suit, as I've mentioned, but this definitely is a one-man ship. So what's the deal with that? And there's some potential story implications for you there too. There's also a decal on the side of the ship that we haven't seen before, some writing that I'll touch on later. But moving on, we get a look at PNF 404, judging by the fact that it looks almost identical to the shots from Pikmin 3 and 3 Deluxe. So no more Hey Pikmin Planet, I guess. We get the logo, Pikmin 4, the same logo from the reveal trailer, and pay attention to that yellow 4 for later. Shot 2, and we get some more bench. There's a lot in this bench shot though. First off, I can't tell if this is the same bench from before. It's in a different light at a different angle, but the position of these bricks makes me think it is. It'd also be weird to have multiple benches in a so far benchless franchise. Also of note with the bench, we can see a stack of sparkly stuff maybe by the right foot of the bench, which wasn't there in the first trailer, so I got a feeling this is a pretty important mechanic that they wanted to hide from us at the reveal. Also extremely important, you can see a circle of ruby looking rocks just in front of that massive gate, which we see later on in the trailer is where you land the onion in your ship to start the day. So this is definitely a new landing spot right next to the bench, but we'll get back to that. The next shot is a fiery blowhog, a classic from the Pikmin series, and you can see just about everything is the same, but I do wonder if he'll weigh 5 or 7 Pikmin this time around. And there's nothing else of note here that you can't immediately see. Shot 3 has some Snagret babies in it, and they are just adorable. But take a look at these pots next to them. The angle is pretty misleading. I think these things are huge, about the size of a Wollywog, which probably means these will be enemies that attack and eat your Pikmin, unfortunately meaning we have to kill them. Though, from first glance, they may just be, hopefully, a piece of scenery like the birds from Super Mario Odyssey or just about any other game, but it's unlikely. To the left of those pots, people have been speculating that it may be a cave entrance, and it would make sense for the caves to take on a childlike entrance look because we're in a very colorful backyard full of toys and benches, but again, nobody knows. If you look far in the back, you'll see some more pots, then a little closer, a circle which is actually sparkling, so that's probably a treasure, as you'll see with the other more obvious ones in just a little bit, probably a yo-yo. And we get a closer look at these crystals, which sort of look like the gold from Pikmin 3 mission mode, or even the sparklium from Hey Pikmin, just by the way they're stacked. You'll probably be collecting those like we do the grapes or ultra spicy berries, and I have no idea what they are. Maybe fuel for the ship, or more theories later. And then, of course, our first look at the house, the centerpiece of this map, which I'm hoping we'll actually visit at some point, though from this perspective, it just looks like a 2D skybox background. Oh, and there's also some joust bites. Next shot, though, we leave all that behind and see the mini ship coming in for a pretty smooth landing in a pretty average looking place. Definitely the start of the game, just judging from the shape and how it looks exactly like the layout of Charlie's crash site from Pikmin 3. Then we get a look at a new character, which some have said might be a child of Alf or Brittany, though I feel like it's more likely in relation to Olimar due to some potential Hocotate references we see later. From another angle, we see one of those pull tree obstacles in the background, and a good look at that uniform, which is actually pretty different from every other captain in the sense that it's a solid color, backpack and all, which has never happened before. Again, a stupid detail, but some lore details nonetheless. This is definitely a more uniform or planned out exploration. Then there's the new onion and the pink crystals from before, indicating a landing site. There's what looks to be a garden in the back, and those flowers look kind of scary. And there's a huge purple flower in the back, which makes me think of a massive rock Pikmin, just a behemoth. Anyway, though this game seems to be taking more inspiration from Pikmin 2, this is very much unlike that game's onions and looks a lot more similar to the Pikmin 3 onion. There's also a growing pellet posy in the back, which I'm assuming blooms once a Pikmin sprouts, as you can see this one does in the next shot. And from that different angle, whoa, that is a huge ship. Apparently, somebody, I'm sorry I can't find credit, translated the writing to Hocotate Transportation Company, which I don't know if I trust fully, but it's the same color as Olimar's suit and vaguely the ship from Pikmin 2. And you can see it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 portholes for the 4 captains of Pikmin 4, whom we'll see later. Next up is the red Pikmin, pretty standard, pretty normal, no weird stretching like in the first game, unfortunately. The font has changed, which is weird that somebody pointed that out, and now that we're really close to the crystals, you can see that they are pink/red versions of the white crystals in the pile from the shot with the baby Snagrets. So maybe we collect those crystals to build new landing locations, open world theory, etc. And next shot, we see those crystals again from the bench, still uncollected, but we see a red ball in the background with that same shimmering effect, so that's a treasure. Might just be a red ball treasure, to be honest. There's 3 types of Pikmin in this shot, red, yellow, and blue from the original Pikmin 1, and the onion isn't changing or morphing into any different colors. So maybe we get all 3 of the original types first, maybe the ice Pikmin/other Pikmin live in the ship like in Pikmin 2, or maybe the devs are just hiding something from us. And that last explanation feels a little more valid when you pause on literally one of the last frames of this shot, which shows what looks to be a purple pellet posy. And unless I'm colorblind, surely this means A, purple Pikmin are in the game and playable in the main story, and B, they'll be using the/an onion. Side note, all of the previous Pikmin are featured on the thumbnail image for this trailer, which everyone is raving about, and I don't believe they'd do that if it was just a mission mode kind of cameo. There's also plenty of room for another Pikmin to be slotted in here for whenever they're revealed. The next shot, rapid fire, you see crystals, that same red ball treasure, some toy-like binoculars, a faucet, maybe inspired by those Pikmin short films, which, to be honest, this whole game seems to be taking inspiration from with its aesthetic and theme. There's a Bulborb in the back, some buried object here, and pay close attention to the angle we see the house from, because the shot with the baby Snagrets was at the far front of the house, but this bench area is definitely the backyard, or at least a ways off from that baby Snagret. I think it's too far for there to be only one base in this whole area, but too close to be 2 separate areas, so I feel like open world is honestly confirmed at this point. And just as I'm saying this, boom, complete change of scenery, so we'll have to see. We get a look at the bridges in this game, which are similar to Pikmin 3, though it doesn't look exactly the same, but definitely not the ones from 1 and 2. There's that massive playground in the background and a massive elephant slide that you might have a toddler slide down, for example. Wherever we are not on a minimum wage salary. I also really hope that elephant has a boss at the top or a cave entrance. Honestly, so long as it's not just a background object, I will be ecstatic. Also, some pots, pellet posies, and spectralids, but I won't be mentioning those from here on out. Next, in the random items from previous games, a wall, again, the Pikmin 3 look, except quite a bit longer than last time we saw it, and it breaks in an entirely different way. There's some stuff in the background, but I'm more interested in this thing. What is it? Cave entrance, treasure, possibly something entirely different? It sort of looks like a little puddle of water to me, but I'm an idiot. And more of these crystal things spit out. Oh boy, am I going to get sick of seeing those when we're playing this game. We're now battling the fiery blowhog. Combat looks the same, but if you really squint, you can see on the left a warping or disruption of light that is the same kind of effect we see from the cave entrances in Pikmin 2, as well as an open lid of some kind. What could that be? And the stopwatch and bulborb from the first trailer are visible in the background with what looks to be the facade of a fence. There's also a weird bulge onion thing as well. It looks like a mix between an actual onion and a Pikmin onion with that bit on top, but I don't know. And in the next shot, there's another ground accoutrement of some sort, the same we saw behind that dirt wall, but this one is opened and emitting a glow or a light, probably the light from a cave. Why is it open though and the other one wasn't? Who knows? Something we technically saw in the last shot is the strawberry, a sunseed berry from Pikmin's 2 and 3, though it probably is a treasure in this game, not a fruit, judging by the other things we've collected. The Pikmin demonstrate how this tree bundle obstacle will work that we saw at the initial landing, and there's a burgeoning spiderwort, aka ultra spicy plant in the background, meaning yes, there will be ultra spicy spray. No confirmation on Ultra Bitter Spray though, and I doubt we'll get that anytime soon. Then we climb up a wall. Brand new animation right there. There's a plastic bag that you'll push down from Pikmin 3 on the right, and this strange new enemy, which walks like a bull bear, looks like a blowhog, could be a groink, but I honestly have no clue. The onion is in the background of this shot as well, and judging by the baby snagrets also in the background, this confirms that the front of the house and the back have different landing sites. Another hint at an open world game, perhaps, or maybe these are just two different areas. The background also confirms that the Cherry Blossom playground area and the house area are the same, or again, open world. The new binoculars are here along with some dwarf bulborbs that look a little flatter nosed than usual. There's also another possible cave entrance buried under some sand, but at this point these things are getting so common I don't even know if they're cave entrances. And we get a look at the only UI we see, which is this new treasure collected graphic, seemingly replacing the totally different and gameplay pausing collection screen from Pikmin 2 with the more Pikmin 3-esque alert for collecting fruits. And there's more blue thing entrance, cave openings, whatever in the background. I'm so sick of those too. Then, finally, we get to see the Ice Pikmin reveal, and this dude has more personality than any other Pikmin. We're in a cave right now, as you can tell, and so this has led a lot of people to speculate that we'll be getting Ice Pikmin from candy pop buds like the purples and whites from Pikmin 2, but I wouldn't be so sure because of these sparkles that we see for a split second, the same ones the onion has and always will produce. But that's a pretty strange guess, so I won't guarantee anything. When they're fighting the bulborb, we get to see the color of their flower, yellow, the same yellow from the Pikmin 4 logo. This is a similar theme as Pikmin 2, where the purple and white Pikmin have pinkish red flowers, just like the game's logo, and the rock and winged Pikmin also had the same purple colored flower, but the game's logo was sometimes red and sometimes purple, so I don't really know what's up with that. Dang it. We see the bulborb get frozen solid after he eats the ice Pikmin, just like how white Pikmin poison the enemy when they get eaten, and just like the Ultra Bitter Spray from Pikmin 2, if a frozen enemy is defeated, they shatter, dropping no corpse and turning into nectar and stuff. And in the top right corner, it sorta looks like the dragon fruit from Pikmin 3. I wish I could say more about this shot, but the lake does get frozen. We can't really tell if Ice Pikmin can swim or carry objects underwater or not, but I guess we'll see in due time. And then there was the dog. In my reaction, I wondered when we get access to this dog, and if you look at the surroundings, that's the same place and tree obstacles as the first time the captain landed. Also, judging by the smallness of the area, this is not where we get the red Pikmin, so maybe we get the dog right away to get past the tree obstacle, which means the tree takes 10 Pikmin to deal with. What a crazy case of transitive property right there. Also of note, the dog only has 2 legs and has spots on his back, so it's probably some weird Bulborb hybrid. We see the dog can break these pots that we've been seeing hundreds of times, as well as more Joust Mites and the arbitrary "we need to give yellow Pikmin a use" obstacle in the background. There's also a boat and something else, as well as a buried fruit right here, maybe the Velvety Dream Drop, and there's a push bag up there, so at some point we will go up there. We see the dog can carry 10, and the Pikmin it appears to be carrying it for is the yellows, unless the dog has its own onion since the color is the same. This thing probably just randomly chooses what Pikmin to give it to, like the purples and whites did back in Pikmin 2. There's also a pumpkin, and I'd hate to confirm that there is an open world, but we see that ring of red crystals again, meaning there could be an onion and ship station there, but the dog is dragging it completely somewhere else, plus the background matches the gate area with the bench where we've already seen an onion. Now there's a conversation between the 4 captains who are all wearing the same uniform, as I said. One of them is named Shepard, who along with this glasses dude has the same build as Louie, whereas this guy who we know as Colin is built like Charlie and our main guy like Alf. The ship in the background is now on 2 pieces of landing gear, unlike what we saw at the start with the red onion, so it was undoubtedly crashed at that point in the game, and maybe we had to repair it to get to this point. Also, kind of unimportant, but what isn't, the dog sits down just like a Bulborb. We see the dog can be ridden, can swim, the boat treasure from before, yellow Wollywugs, another bridge, and another weird bell-shaped treasure way off in the back. We also see a toy tractor, but it's not shimmering, so it's probably not a treasure. And this could be yet another circle of red crystals, another landing spot for the onion, though at this point, we've seen so many and maybe one from before. Delving into a cave now, we see more red crystals on the ground, presumably where we land after jumping in, confirming that there are sub-levels to these caves, and then, of course, a dialogue box brings us the name of the dog, Owachi.
Ochi. Ochi.
And to the main point of the game, I assume, finding and rescuing castaways. It also appears like Owachi is a sort of treasure detector like we got in Pikmin 2, except in this case it's for the castaways, and I'm sure there'll be a separate treasure detector because, you know, it's not like we can't just use Wikipedia. There's a nameless, obscured castaway, and I feel like 90% of the time this will be the case, just a nameless objective to collect at the end of every cave, but I'm also 100% sure that in some way, shape, or form, we will wind up stumbling upon our old cast of characters in need of rescue too, just like Louie and Olimar from Pikmin 3. There's also female sheargrubs and more pots. Then we get the Disco Longlegs, which looks incredible, and you can see some warehouse lights in the top of the arena, hopefully indicating we'll get some higher effort themed caves this time around. People have also pointed out the sign in the back of the fight and have theorized it's a sub-level counter, but I feel like it's just an aesthetic related to the fight in some way. You know, a mechanical boss deserves a mechanical sign. Maybe it's phase 1 of the fight. And the Longlegs is presumably hypnotizing these Pikmin in the middle, like the Antenna Beetle from Pikmin 2, or even the Puffstool from the original Pikmin. And of course, the return of the Queen, the Empress Bulblax, is back. Probably meaning Emperor Bulblax is here too, along with the babies. But that's all self-explanatory. I'm wondering what this thing in the back is. That's all we see of it before we see the Empress doing her same old attacks in that classically rigid and poorly designed arena straight out of Pikmin 2. The exits to the cave appear to be vents, you could see one earlier in the trailer too, but the water geysers may be long gone. And now that single captain and the dog fly off together. There's some skid marks behind the space shuttle, a sign that it's definitely crashed here, and there's a new satellite dish or radar gun on the top of the ship that was not there when we first saw it. And it's noticeably not the end of the day by any means, so where are these explorers headed? And final shot, we're back in the wagon wheel area. Nothing's changed, but it's now night, and there are star bits littered all around. The Bulbarb goes crazy, of course, and then the release date. But the way the star bits are so plentiful reminds me of the gold from Pikmin 3 mission modes, and I do worry that the nighttime mode may not be in the main story exactly. And I hope they don't do that, but they did a similar cop-out with the Pikmin 3 Deluxe side stories, pretty much just being mission mode 2.0. As far as I can tell, that's everything. I double-checked all the music in the trailer, but it all sounds new, nothing of note there. So that may literally be everything. Comment if I missed anything, but if I didn't, you have to subscribe. You don't, actually, you don't. No, you don't at all. That was just a little, you know. Okay, you're just gonna sit there not saying anything? This is awkward. You can all look at the box art and such yourself. There's a few clues to be found there as well, but honestly, that's a lot we already covered. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're as excited for Pikmin 4 as I am. But that is all for now, so I thank you all so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Oh my gosh. That's a lot. Whew.